Trump and the Return of Imperial Logic, a Machiavellian reading of power, debt, and extraction. Machiavelli warned that republics in decline often abandon virtue and return to force. When institutions weaken, law gives way to necessity, and necessity gives birth to empire. Donald Trump's political logic fits squarely within this pattern. His worldview is not that of a modern constitutional statesman, but of a prince confronting imperial decay, one who believes that debts are not repaid through reform, but erased through domination. The United States today carries a public debt approaching $38 trillion. Historically, empires facing such burdens have followed only a few paths: collapse, restructuring, or extraction. Rome chose conquest. Britain chose colonial plunder. France, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Italy built overseas empires not out of curiosity or civilizing zeal, but to solve internal fiscal crises through external seizure. Trump's instincts mirror this logic. He does not speak the language of productivity or long-term reform. He speaks the language of leverage, pressure, and taking. In Machiavellian terms, colonialism is not a moral category, it is a tool. Machiavelli admired Rome precisely because it understood that power must expand or perish. Trump's approach to trade wars, sanctions, territorial claims, and military intimidation reflects this ancient calculus. Tariffs become tribute. Alliances become protection rackets. Diplomacy becomes a zero-sum negotiation in which weaker states must yield or be punished. This is not innovation. It is regression to imperial basics. What makes this approach particularly Machiavellian is the erasure of the boundary between public power and private benefit. Historically, many princes blurred this line. The Roman proconsuls enriched themselves while serving the Republic. British colonial administrators extracted wealth while claiming loyalty to the crown. Trump's politics follow the same pattern: state power as an extension of personal survival, financial gain, and loyalty enforcement. In this framework, corruption is not a failure of the system, it is the system. Machiavelli also understood hierarchy. He rejected equality as a political illusion and accepted that all regimes rest on a ruling minority dominating a majority. Trump's rhetoric consistently reflects a civilizational hierarchy rooted in race, strength, and utility. The world is divided into winners and losers, rulers and ruled. Anglo-Saxon dominance is treated not as ideology, but as assumed order. Others are valued only insofar as they serve, as labor, as markets, or as expendable instruments. This worldview aligns closely with colonial doctrines of the 19th century, where race functioned as justification for extraction. Trump's relationship with Israel must also be understood through this lens. Machiavelli advised princes to ally not out of affection, but out of necessity. Trump's public alignment with Israel is not ideological devotion, religious sympathy, or cultural closeness. It is strategic dependence. In the modern world, power no longer flows solely through armies and territory, but through finance, lobbying, media influence, and transnational networks. Trump understands where leverage resides and adjusts accordingly. In Machiavellian terms, this is not loyalty, it is calculation. Machiavelli famously wrote that it is better for a prince to be feared than loved, if he cannot be both. Trump's politics follow this rule relentlessly. He does not seek durable institutions, stable alliances, or moral legitimacy. He seeks dominance in the moment. Gratitude is irrelevant. Promises are temporary. Ideology is expendable. Only utility matters. What Trump represents, therefore, is not an anomaly, but a symptom. When empires can no longer sustain themselves through production, they return to plunder. When law becomes insufficient, force reasserts itself. Trump is not inventing a new system. He is reviving an old one that Machiavelli would recognize immediately. In the end, Machiavelli would neither praise nor condemn Trump. He would simply note the pattern: a declining power, a desperate prince, and the eternal temptation to replace reform with conquest. History suggests how this story usually ends. Empires that choose extraction over renewal by time, but never escape collapse.